I've always loved fashion. I've always loved hair. I've always loved like all of that. Yeah, it's been some really tough times. I think it's tested me more than anything in my life. I had a few motorbikes, like a couple of Harleys and choppers and like stuff like that. And I sold them all, motocross bikes, track bikes. Like I sold everything. Thanks for having me and all that jazz.
You're very welcome. We did a quick tour. Obviously, you've seen the facilities, you've seen the building as well. What do you think?
Mate, it's wild, isn't it?
Appreciate it.
Like, and this is like absolutely lovely. It's the first time I've actually been in a proper podcast like setting as well. So
yeah,
I've done like loads of interviews in the past, but never something as pro set up as this. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. It's funny. I knew about you before I kind of knew about you through my barber.
Oh yeah,
which,
yeah.
I don't know if you know her, Josie Jackson.
Yes, yeah,
you know,
I know Josie. Yeah.
She told me when I went to her for years. She said, if you ever do, because I was moving down to Plymouth, she said, if you ever do go down there, if you go to Lukas, I know you won't ever be coming back to me.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, she said a lot of good things about you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then ever since then, I kind of I got to know more about you through social media.
Yeah.
And it became quite obvious that you had a string of businesses. You're very much a creative, and you know. I wanted to get you on for a while. I was thinking about, you know, who I was going to get you to get to come in. It seemed right to bring you out, and
nice.
There's lots of things we can discuss.
Yeah, I can talk for England. So,
so I thought of how we could start things off, and I guess it'd be nice to kind of know a little bit about you, where you came from, where you started, maybe a little bit about your upbringing.
Wow. Right. Where do we start?
How about where you grew up?
Yeah, well, I actually spent a lot of my childhood in Cyprus. Like, I'm an army brat. My dad was in the Royal Hussars in the army. He was a tanky. So yeah, me and my family like grew up in Cyprus. Really, it was like, I mean, they were probably like the best years of my childhood, I would say. Like, and then unfortunately, my brother was really, really ill. So we came back to England, back to our family home. And because of that, my dad then left the army. And yeah, unfortunately, like we lost my brother, but you know,
Sorry to hear that, mate.
That's all right, mate. Yeah, I think it was a massive part of my life, and like, I don't mind talking about it. I think it's important. So yeah, I talk about him as much as I can, and you know, he's always been like at the back of my mind, sort of like through growing up and everything I've always done. I've kind of like really pushed myself because he couldn't. So yeah, so I grew up I was shit at school. I hated school.
Very much the same here.
I just wasn't academic. I'm really dyslexic.
I think the education system, particularly here, kind of fails a lot of people.
100%. Yeah, I just think there's a real issue with sort of not allowing kids to sort of follow what they want to do, and sort of pushing them to, you know, if a child's creative, push them into creative shit, like rather than just trying to. You know, I was so dyslexic, like, and I mean, even now I struggle to read and write. Yeah. But give a shit. Like,
yeah, it's very much a round peg, square hole kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%,
you know, there's just like force you through it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I think funny enough, like I felt like I was very let down by the education system, but I also feel like one of my teachers in particular kind of showed me that actually, you know, education is really important.
Yeah.
And it was in my final year. I think I was probably pushed the most I ever had by this one particular teacher.
Yeah.
And it was actually I was going to South Devon College, which you could choose as a subject.
Okay.
And so you could take a whole subject, or go to South Devon College, and it seemed quite interesting to me to go and do technology at the time. And then I decided in my second year I didn't like it anymore, so I was going to stay at school. I could do a little bit more rugby. Yeah, it'd be great. And so none of the teachers would take me on, not even the drama, which I thought he would. I was like, that'd be fun, that'd be easy. Yeah. So I ended up doing geography, and this geography teacher, he actually kind of showed me what it was really like to be proud of my own work And I think that work ethic was something that really was a big changing point in my childhood.
Yeah.
Learning that if I put my head into something, I could really do it.
Kind of stuck.
The whole 100%.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? Like when those people come into your lives at like certain points, and it sticks with you, and that person sticks with you. Like I was always called like a lovable rogue at school. Like I was never horrible. I was never nasty. Like I was just.
But you had your own world.
I think I was just young, and I was a bit angry with like everything that happened.
Yeah.
Like in my life, and I just didn't want to be there. And like from the age of 14, like all I wanted to do was cut hair. That's just what I wanted to do.
Where do you think that came from? Or do you remember particularly where that came from?
Yeah, 100%. So I used to get my hair cut by a woman called Caroline. I was with her a few weeks ago at my nan's funeral, actually, and she's still to this day just absolute class. Like she's just
for sure.
one of those characters that you just never forget.
Yeah.
And I always used to go into her and I used to have all these wild ideas for my hair. And like I've always loved fashion. I've always loved hair. I've always loved like all of that. And I was looking for a Saturday job, and she always used to tell me like, you should go into hair, you should go into hair. And I was like, nah, fuck off, that's gay. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I was just a young kid. Like, nah, that's gay. Like, as if that would be a bad thing. But like, I just didn't have a clue back then. And I was looking for a Saturday job, and me and my mum were like walking through town. I grew up in Taunton.
Oh yeah.
We were walking through town. There's just like this amazing salon called Hair Associates. And I was like, fucking hell, that looks sick. Like everyone, there was just like hot girls in there. It was like everyone looked cool. Everyone had cool hair. It was like really industrial sort of style.
Yeah.
It was like way ahead of its time. And I was like, I want to work there. My mum was like, go in and ask for a job. So I was like, fuck it. Like walked in there like cocky teenager.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you need a Saturday boy? And they sort of like, I'll never forget it. They just looked at me upside down. Upside down? Well, they looked at me up and down.
Yeah.
And it was Rhoda. Like she was my boss, right?
Yeah.
And it was Rhoda stood at reception. And she went, grab a seat in reception, like that. And then she came over and sat with me, had a little chat. And she went, come in Saturday and see how you get on.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking sick.
Yes.
Like, fucking done it. So I went in Saturday and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it was just chaos. I was like, this is mental. Like, oh, fuck. I don't know what I'm doing. But I've always been better when I'm just thrown into something. And I just kind of...
Less time to think about it, right?
I just fucking wing it. Like,
yeah.
And I still feel like I just wing everything. Like, I still feel like I do that.
It's only recently that I've learned in life that that's how most people get by. Is by winging.
We're all winging it.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
And so from then onwards, you had that one day.
I had that one day. They said, you've got the job. Like, we'd love to take you on. And I was like, fuck it, I've done it. Like, I was so proud of myself. And that's when like school went completely downhill because like I used to
found your passion.
Yeah, I used to skive a bit, and like I was always a little punk, and I used to ride BMX, and like that's all I wanted to do is just ride BMX and smoke weed and just have that escape. And I was always really sporty, so the only thing that I was good at school was playing rugby, and being an angry teenager, it was the perfect sport. You used to get like rip people apart.
I know,
like,
mate. I remember
for 80 minutes. Fucking great.
British Bulldog, rugby, yes. Two staples of growing up.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And I was just a cocky like scrum half, so
yeah,
it was ideal for me. But so all I wanted to do was cut hair, and I started my apprenticeship. I was like 15, and they were just like, "We're just going to push you through," and the school were just sick of me at this point.
Yes, they were like,
but
whatever.
They didn't want to give up on me. Bless them. Like, I really feel for them now. But I was actually the first student that they did this with. Now they used to give me day release from school twice a week so that I could start training.
No way, that's so cool.
Which, how it doesn't happen more now,
I know.
I haven't got a clue because it was genius. Like,
I genuinely believe that, you know, a lot of the letdown with kids failing to find professions these days are because they are in broken families and because they're not grown up with, you know, a father or mother that has a trade that can teach them it, and they're not set up. And I think that used to happen a lot more than what it does now.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, you know, but
No, I think you're right. Yeah, a lot of like, I think especially like these days, like fucking hell, it is hard being a kid.
Oh, it is
like,
hard, man.
Like when like I mean, I'm nearly 36. I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
I'm 30 this year.
Yeah. So do you know what I mean? Not far off. I'm gonna say that. Like
Yeah,
you're
for
like
sure.
fuck off, mate.
No, mate.
36. Fucking hell.
Like around the corner.
Yeah. Not far off, mate. You know?
I'm there next, man.
But like, yeah, I was just like, I just think, you know, when I was younger, like, I didn't have a phone until I think I was like, well, my mum got me a phone once, and it was like the smallest phone known to man. It was like really cool to have the smallest phone. How small's your phone? Like, do you know what I mean? You can't even text on it.
I remember all of them coming out. Like,
Yeah.
I remember the Nokia 3310s.
Oh, fucking
I remember.
unreal.
Is it Nokias with the little rubber strips on the side
Yes,
that used to
mate.
look like a little disco?
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
it fucking, you remember
Mate,
that one?
Sony Ericsson was my favourite. Sony Ericsson Flicker. I remember that was the first
dude.
time I actually had like music on my phone.
Mate, I've been doing a lot of like thinking about Pokemon recently. And, and I saw this Facebook reel by Dude Perfect the other day, and I've seen this a million times in my head. One of them's like outside banging on this window, like no, and it's him as a kid in the inside ripping out, open this Pokemon card pack, flicking through, pulling out a Charizard and going like flick, yeah, like waving it about.
Yeah.
It's like 90 grand card.
Fucking hell, mate.
But I just thought, and I was like, you know, actually, that kind of makes me sad that I'll never open a Pokemon card packet again.
Yeah, man.
Ever. And you know, there's so many things like the flip up phones and the old retro stuff that you know, you're probably never going to see again. Or
No.
just like,
I just remember like I wish I still had like the videos on those phones.
yeah,
Like fuck me, they would have been so stupid.
Casey Neistat would, wouldn't he? Though,
yeah.
like every video ever.
Yeah, fuck me. Like I'm like my mate Carlos, like he's a barber as well, and like we both worked together at this hair salon that I did my apprenticeship with, and he joined later on. But I think we must have been about 18, I think, and we just used to skive and go upstairs, and he was really good guitarist.
Yeah.
We used to go upstairs, like, so fucking immature. Like, everyone's working their ass off downstairs.
Yeah.
We'd be sat up in the staff room pretending that, like, I don't know, we're putting a wash load on or, like, something like that, washing the towels or something.
Yeah.
And we'd just be making stupid fucking songs up, and I'd just be recording him. Like, and that was, like, on my old phone, I'm like, why haven't I got that? Like, because I can see the videos in my head.
Yeah. It's funny because you and me probably made videos on our phones that were probably so good now, like just as like just content you could upload. Oh, you know, and like, right. but because you're so innocent, you didn't even think about press and play. No. And that's why it was done, and all those stuff would have been golden.
Yeah, 100%. Because now you're doing a video because you're like, oh, that would be good content.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. You know
back then you were just filming it because it's fucking funny.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that shit's funny. Like,
so, when at what point in your life did you go from? When did you start up your first business? When did you get into business? And tell me about the transition as well.
God, fucking hell. I've never been business minded. I still like, you know, we go on the fact of like winging it. Mm-hmm. I'm 100% still winging it. Like, I ain't got a fucking clue what I'm doing. Like, but it started when I made the move to Exeter from Taunton. I had a like really bad end to a relationship, and I was like, fuck me, I've got to get out of this place. Like, it's driving me nuts. Yeah. So I got offered a management job at a barbershop in Exeter. It's no longer there, but because the owner's a bellend. But
Standard story.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. But yeah, basically, I worked there for a year, built up a really good business.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of hard work, and I'm good at what I do, and I can back myself on that, no problem. It's taken me a long time, but so I just worked really hard, and then I met a mate of mine. Well, he's now a mate of mine. He was a client. He was probably like one of my first mates, like when I moved to Exeter. I only knew one person when I moved there. So, I became really good friends with him. And he was just like, fucking hell, we should open up a shop. And I was just like, I've never wanted my own shop. He was like, you need your own shop. And like, he basically sold it to me. I was like, fuck it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I could have my own shop. Easy peasy. 6 years later, 2 shops, a salon and a studio and photography business. And I'm exhausted, stressed, knackered, anxiety levels are through the roof, depression, fucking everything. They're like, oh, you must be rolling in it with all these businesses. Never been more skint.
Yeah. But let me guess, you'd never change it for anything else.
No, I really love it. I work alongside some absolute legends that's started off as staff and they're now really good friends of mine. Love them to bits. It's stressful, but if it was easy, everyone would do it. You know, and it's been some really tough times. I think it's tested me more than anything in my life. But
I think you really start to feel like, I don't know if you ever do feel like a man, but you kind of like feel like you uphold your responsibility in some sense.
I feel like I have a massive responsibility. Especially like when COVID hit. I think that was like,
because you had a lot of staff as well.
I've got 12 staff and I just felt so responsible for them. And I had and I was just worried that my staff weren't going to have a business to come back to. I'll be okay because I'll just go and work in someone else's shop. Like I can still cut hair, but I was so worried about my staff. I just sold everything just to make sure that everything was covered and it'd be all right. And they had jobs to come back to. And so that was tough, for everyone. And obviously staying in when I'm normally such a social person, being with people all day, every day.
For sure.
That was a test. And that's when I really got into sort of pushing photography, really.
That was going to be my next question.
Oh, wow.
Glad
rolling into it. Rolling into it.
So, please, mate, tell me how you got into your photography. Obviously, I'm an avid photographer myself. And I love your work. I love your creativity. Mate. I think creatives are all artists, just with their own different tool.
100%.
And I feel like you're probably someone that's got multiple different tools in your creative little your creative space.
It's something I've always loved. A great friend of mine, Justin Krause, he's like a multi-award winning photographer, and he's one of the hardest people, one of the hardest working people I know. He's just such a grafter. Anything he's ever done, he just puts all into it. He's really inspiring. The lockdown, I was just I just taught myself, really. I spoke to, obviously you've met Paul, Paul Foster, one of my other business partners who we've got the studio with and stuff.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Big up, Paul.
Yeah, love you, Paul. But he was just like, oh mate, you got a real eye for it, and I just went for him for a load of advice, really. I was like, oh, what camera should I get? Like, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, look, just start off at this. And like, I had an A6000 that I was just sort of playing with. And he was just like, mate, like, if you're taking these photos with this kit, like, you really need to sort of pursue it. So I was just like, yeah, come on then. So I bought a Canon 6D, a few lenses. And that's where I started getting a bit more creative. So I just thought it was lockdown and I was starting to get into my fitness at this point.
Yeah.
But I love a drink. Yeah. I love a good party. So
you're an extrovert, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
for sure. You get energy off of people, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. So I was just I was looking for an alcohol that was just low calorie. so it kind of made me feel less bad about drinking. So I found Skinny Lager, and I just thought, oh, it's a cool bottle. Like, it looks all right. So I just set my camera up and just took some photos, like holding it and stuff like that. Did a bit of editing, bit of like softbox on it, like really, really basic, and just tagged them in it. And they were like, oh, we really like love these photos. Like, can you, if we send you some like stuff, can you do some photos and then invoice us? And I was like, what? Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll just fuck it, blag it, typical blag it. It's like, yeah, no worries. So I brought I was like, Paul, like, I needed like a light box or something. And he was just like, right, you need to buy this. So I fucking bought that. It's like 50 quid or something, just a like product light box. And I just set some stuff up and I was like, Paul, I need like an LED light or something. He goes, oh, I'll drop one round. Yeah. This is all during lockdown. Yeah. He's like dropping all this stuff round to me. And he just knows that it's just going to keep my mind busy. Yeah. So I was like, right, I'll put like a glass, like cooking, like a glass cooking tray.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'll turn that upside down, spray it with water. Yeah, it looks all right. I'll put a light underneath it facing upwards. So I lit the bottle up, black background, just one light on it. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just hold the camera like this. Yeah. Like, because I didn't have a tripod or anything. So I'm holding the camera while spraying water. like that. And like, I got it into, And I sent, mate, I didn't even have a laptop. So I sent the photos from the camera to my phone. Yeah. Just did a bit of editing on my phone. Yeah. Sent it to them, like WeTransfer or something like that. I sent it to them and they're like, oh my God, like, we love these, like, blah, blah, blah. Send us an invoice. I was like, Paul, how much do I fucking charge for this? He's like, well, how much do you want to charge?
There's nothing more anxiety filling than like not knowing how to price something up.
Mate,
like,
what the fuck? Awful. I was like, I don't know. Like, and he was just like, well, just charge this. If you're happy with that, charge that. And I was like, man, I'm fucking blagging this. And it turns out like they're still a client of mine. I still do a lot of work for them. And I did one of their campaigns and like it's been great working with them.
Absolutely.
And that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence. But I love, as you know, like I love fashion. I love art. I love hair. I love makeup. I love like all of these things.
It's the perfect tool for you to be able to show off. Yeah. All of your art as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's nice seeing your like Instagram feed. And I know it's not all about socials, but I believe it becomes one part of you, to be honest, these days. And I try not to fight it, but I look at your socials and I think there's someone that takes a lot of pride in what they do.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Like, I just I like what I like. I don't take photos and upload them for other people. No, you go on my personal feed. Yeah, it is all me. But fuck it, it's my personal feed.
Absolutely,
like, do you know what I mean? And it's pictures that I like. And it's a confidence thing as well. Like you fucking got cool photos of yourself.
Absolutely, dude.
Post them.
Yeah. Like, and it's cool, you know what? Like because you've been doing it for some years now, and you've got like a bunch of friends that are photographers, and you've got a bunch of friends that are videographers, and you just hook up and you like take pics of each other and shit, and then I love you've got loads of folders. It's great. There's nothing more fun.
Yeah, for sure. And like the you know, I've got loads and loads of friends in the hair industry, some amazing friends that like inspire me every day.
And it extends into everything, you know. And
yeah,
there's nothing like more. There's nothing more fulfilling for me than a friend that has something that's really unique, like a business, and I can go, look, just let me take a set of photos, and then they can show it off how it really should be showed off.
definitely.
You know,
Because you see their business in a completely different way.
You get it,
Like a creative angle, and like, you know, 80% of business owners aren't creative.
They aren't.
Like they have a vision, but they're not creative.
We're very much creatives that have molded ourselves into business people.
100%.
Yeah, it took me a long time to realize that, you know, I've been a creative my whole life, and I just didn't really understand that, and I was trying to fold myself into, you know, this you know, you go to work and you work 9 to 5, and I didn't realize why it wasn't working for me.
Yeah,
and now I do.
Yeah,
yeah. It was quite cool learning about business, because, you know, I'm sure like you fucking a couple months in, you're like,
yeah, I still ain't got a clue, mate.
I still YouTube everything.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how I learned everything about business.
Like, what the fuck? I got my mate Colin Petrie in Scotland. Like, I hate the word entrepreneur, and he'll fucking kill me for calling him that. But he is, like, he's the biggest entrepreneur that I know. I'm so lucky to have him as a mate. But fuck me, like, he's creative. He's like amazing with a camera. He's amazing with clippers.
That's awesome.
Amazing at business. He's just an absolute like power. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's one thing as well, is like, as you get older, you start to get you respect people that have loads more skill sets, and it makes you want to like oh, I want to learn how to do this. And that. And
Why
you realize,
can't I do that?
And you realize you can do shit if you want to.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. And I think like that's a massive thing. I've got a lot of student clients, just young lads, like, and some of them are creative, some of them are more academic, and I just say to them, like, they're always like, oh yeah, there's so much pressure, and like, you know, to get good grades and stuff like that. And I'm like, mate, like your grades will not define who you become, like who you are, like what you do with your life. Like, if you believe in yourself and you're doing something that you love, you will do well. Yeah. Like, and I've just always kind of, one, blagged it. Two, I think anything that I do, I just give it my all and I just try my hardest.
Yeah. I think that's always been the same with me, is that I think the biggest struggle for me was trying to figure out what I wanted. But if I knew I wanted something, that was never a problem, because I was 100% in all the time. Like, didn't matter what it was. If it was something, I was into it, and I was 100% into it, like hyper focused.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was targeting myself to the right things, you know, up until a certain age. And then I truly figured out what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I was like, right, now I know what I want. I know how to get there.
What was the point? Like, what was that point? Can you remember, like,
COVID?
Yeah.
It's so basic, bitch.
Hate that fucking word, isn't it? But like, COVID was like so bad, but yet so fucking good.
I had a breakup just before COVID, and I took that one a little bit harshly, and I think I was pretty heavy on myself for that. And I'd also just started to come out of bodybuilding, so. I was actually prepping for my last set of shows. I was going to do a couple of them. And I was about 2 weeks out or something. And then the big announcement, all the gyms are closed and nothing's happening anymore. The whole of the country shut down.
Yeah.
And it was a big regression for me. I think it was a lot of everything. I pulled away from bodybuilding. I started to try and figure out what I wanted in life. And it was a very transformative couple of months for me. It was good, transformative, good year and a half probably. And then I had fallen back into camera work. So I'd actually been gifted a 5,000.
Yeah, nice.
It was like one of my first girlfriends when I was early on bodybuilding.
Okay.
I used to just take my pictures, like my progress pictures.
Yeah.
And then for a couple of years, I'd like dabbled with it and made videos and done this and done that. And people kind of knew that I had some skill set with a camera. And then it was in lockdown during this time that I kind of picked it back up, and I was like trying to figure myself out, and I just utterly fell in love with it.
Really?
Yeah, started watching a lot of YouTube and getting very heavily inspired by, you know, your Pete McKinnon, your Neistat, and all of the normal people that everyone else do. And I just winged it, man. Yeah. And it was 2 years ago, so it was 2020. January of 2020, I started Express Media as a limited company.
Nice.
I had some money saved up because furlough did me quite well, and I was also got my security badge back. I used to do like conflict management security. I was also a bailiff for a bit. Yeah. And they actually continued to pay me throughout lockdown, and I was doing some security work, and it was quite good. It was on the key, walking around every day, getting like a t-shirt tan, getting coffees. Like everyone was lovely. It was nice, and saved up some cash, put some money into it, and by September, my company was calling me up. Oh, can you come back to work? And I was like, sorry, mate, I'm in Madrid. I was in Madrid.
No way.
Yeah, so he was actually brilliant.
How's he doing? Sorry, mate, in Madrid.
Yeah. He was actually really cool about it. He was one of the managers. I always got along with a lot of my managers I work with. So he was like, what I'm hearing is that you're not feeling too well, and next week we'll have a chat about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so no, he like hooked me up. I squared it away, and that was it, mate. I returned my van to him, and then on the same day I went and picked up the transit at Vosper's, and
see you later.
That was it, man. Big fucking scary, dude.
Mate, it's fucking it is mad, isn't it?
It is.
But like, no, that's awesome. I fucking love that. It takes so much. Like, I just have respect for anyone that just takes that risk.
Yeah,
like
it's hard, and you know, it's funny always. That I'm sure you're ever the same when you see mates and you're like, you see like something in them, you're like, you got to do it, man. You got to do it.
Yeah. It'd be the best thing.
And then when they go to do it, you're like, look, if anything goes wrong, it's not mine.
Yeah, and they take one look at me and just be like, you look fucking knackered though, mate.
Gone from doing 9 to 5 to like all day now, every day.
It's like, fucking hell. Like, it's
I think the problem is like, it's not necessarily crazy busy unless you want it to be, and that's the problem. Is when you fall into this world, it's so addictive, and a lot of people take it on so personally because it's a part of you. That all you can do is every moment of your free time work on it. Well, definitely. Everything becomes all your free time, so everything goes
100%. And you become that business, that brand that you've built. It's just like, you know, I am Lukas, like, and it's just, it gets like tiring, like, because I mean, one thing I'm really, really good at, which I got from years of hairdressing and being in a salon, is just like game face. As soon as you walk through that door, it's like, it's showtime, you know. And I've like taken that into like so many different roles in my life, like loads of different roles, and like it gets exhausting. So I think like one thing that I'm really trying to focus on is, I said this and then I just launched a new business like a month ago. So I fucking said it right. This year I'm gonna get good work-life balance. Like, and I'm gonna do the things that I've really wanted to do like over the last 6 years. And then it's just like, there's an opportunity for this. I'm like, fuck it. Just throw everything into it. But you know, that's just what happens, isn't it? But next year, I can focus on my work-life balance. Right. Fucking bullshit. But oh mate, it's just a tough one. Like when it's your little babies.
Exactly.
Like you can't just.
It's your identity now entirely, like through and through.
100%.
Yeah.
It's knackering, isn't it?
So tell me, have you got any plans for the year coming up that you're excited about in particular, or anything that's going on now?
Well, I've just launched a new salon with a mate of mine.
Absolutely stunning.
Thanks, mate. It was fucking hard work. It's wicked, actually. It's in some friends of mine own a restaurant called Pink Moon in Exeter and Taco Cartel.
Yeah.
So Pink Moon's like downstairs, it's like underground vibe, great party venue, awesome. Above it is Taco Cartel.
Yeah.
And then the new salon with my friend Christabel Legrand is next door. So it's like, ooh.
That's awesome.
44 Queen Street is like a hub of creativity. And yeah, it's amazing, mate. I've had my eye on that space for since they opened, like years.
Yeah.
I was like, I always want that. It's got big bifolding doors onto
Yeah.
the street. It's just fucking like lovely space.
I'll say it time and time again. If you envision something enough and you just take a few steps towards it, just every now and then to take a little step.
Yeah, definitely.
You fucking get there.
Definitely. So yeah, that's going really well. I've had to put any photography work on hold because obviously my kit was stolen. So
yeah, tell us about that. So
right, it just get like, you know, when like everything just keeps coming at you. It was like one of those times.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, verge mental breakdown. Like all my money's like just gone into this new venture, and then obviously all these bills like come in, and it all just happens at once.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, fuck. I booked a trip to Barcelona like fucking months ago. Like, well, I've got to go. Like, let's find some money.
Yeah.
Just work my ass off. So, yeah, I mean, my whole point of going to Barcelona was to take my camera and do a load of street photography because there's so many fucking beautiful, cool people over there, and I just wanted to walk around and just talk to people. And
that was this personal time that you're
personal time that I've been after for 3 years. Just 3 days. That's all I fucking wanted. But yeah, 2 days before I was meant to fly out, my kit got stolen. Literally, my Sony A7 R4.
Where were you? Like
I was at work. I was at the salon.
Oh, and they took it from the salon.
They walked straight in. Yeah, so I was gutted. But I put it up on my socials and like thank you to everyone that shared like my stories. Because from that, a girl saw it that works at CEX.
Yeah.
And she said, Luka, I think we've got your camera in. And I was like, oh, mate, like my heart rate went up. I was like, oh, my baby. Like, it was like they found a child.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, my God. And I was like, you're fucking joking. I was like, what, the whole backpack? And she was like, no, she said, what lens was on it? And I was like, I always shoot with my 50mm.
Yeah.
Like, I know that a 50mm was on it.
Yeah.
I said, right, Sigma Art, 50mm. She said, yeah.
Was it a 1.5? A 1.4?
1.4.
1.4, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. Beautiful.
One thing I'm missing is a 50-1.4.
Well, when I get mine back, you can have a play, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's my favourite lens.
I'll do you a trade.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said, right, send me the serial number. Obviously, they don't get cameras like that a lot in CEX.
Yeah.
So she was like, this got to be yours. Sent her the serial number. It matched.
Yeah.
So they've still got it 2 weeks later because the police still haven't been in. They have to go in, see the guys, like whoever took it in. Obviously, they've got their ID on record.
Yeah.
They've got the CCTV, which will probably be gone by the time that they go in because it obviously gets erased, doesn't it? Goes round on a loop.
Yeah.
So cheers, Devon and Cornwall Police, like smashing it. But
guys,
come on, guys, step it up. But they're understaffed, and like one of my clients, Matt, like
I work with the police quite a lot.
Yeah.
And it's particularly the RCRO team, the Red Casualties Reduction Unit.
Yeah.
And I get the piss taken out of them all the time with how much money they're given. Like they never get anything.
Mate, they're so understaffed.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, bless him. Like one of my clients, Matt, like he's a local copper.
Yeah.
And like I just rung him up. I was like, mate, anything you can do.
Yeah, hustle,
just,
mate, hustle.
just please get someone in there. I just want my camera back. Like I'm literally like, not only am I still missing about
do.
$3.5 grand's worth of kit.
You should go and nick your camera from there.
Yeah.
And then when they come to investigate it,
I'm on CCTV. Fucking that got your asses in
I'm
gear.
glad we've sorted this situation
Yeah.
out. I'll now leave with my camera
I
again.
just go in there and kick off to the point that they get the police there. I'll be like, sweet. While you're here, guys, got a mystery to solve for you. Yeah, but so I'm still waiting for that. So I'm losing money like day by day because I can't do any work. But that's all right. It'll still be there like by the time I get it back. But I don't know where the other lenses are. They're long gone, I think. But
what lenses were there, mate?
oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I got a 24-70
Yeah.
art. I got these are all art.
Sigmas, yeah, I got the Sigma art. Yeah, 24-70.
It's just like such a baby. Got the 70-200.
Oh,
yes,
no.
I
The
know.
2.8 or the 4?
The 2.8.
Oh,
yeah.
Sheesh, man.
Yep. That's one that I'm really, I could cry.
Well, when you get your camera back, mate,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go and shoot some photos.
We'll have a play.
Yeah, well,
I just need to take photos of fucking anything.
mate, your location, you make it up.
Yeah.
We'll go on a shoot.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm up for that. We'll have a day trip and just drive around places. I'll just fucking shoot.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Well, mate, I appreciate you for coming up.
You're more than welcome.
I had a really fucking good chat.
Mate, thanks so much for having me. Honestly, it's been like great to finally meet you, and like I love your content and I love your drive, and
thank you,
it's
man.
really inspiring, and I think it's great for a lot of people to see. So
I appreciate that, dude. Well, one thing I want to bring up quickly before we finish is we've talked about it. Me and Paul talked about it as well. So I think we're all really interested in doing it, setting up this creative night.
Yes.
Obviously, we don't really know exactly what we want to do with it. We've discussed it. We're going to wing it.
I'll tell you what. I think we just set something up. We'll meet up at Taco Cartel.
Yeah.
Everyone loves tacos.
Yeah.
We'll meet there for like the first meet.
Yeah.
And then we'll get some locations for other meets.
Yes.
So obviously we'll have a meet here.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
have a meet at our place.
Sounds great.
And yeah, we'll set up some good creative nights, and I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
it'll be good to get everyone involved. Yeah. All the
Agreed.
creatives,
Yeah.
like bring your cameras.
Yeah.
We'll just have a
Bring
little
your
chat.
toys.
We'll geek out, fucking nerds.
But this time next year, we'll have like a giant venue of like cinewhoops flying around through like
100%.
hoops and shit.
Nerding it out. Yeah, be fucking great. Just don't give me a drone, mate, because like I remember when I made my first bit of money with the barbershops.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck it. It was like the most money I'd ever had. Fucking none of it now. Like, but I was just like, fuck it. Like, me and my mate went up the shop, like my mate Taggy. We were like, it was like one of those, like, I don't know, those nerd shops.
Yeah.
Like those man shops or
Yes.
something.
Yeah. Man gadgets and shit.
Yeah, Mankind or something like that, it's called.
Yes.
Like, so fuck it. We went in there, walked out with a drone. Neither of us got a clue what the fuck to do with a drone, right? And
I'm sure it's self-explanatory.
yeah, fuck it, he just fucking flies.
Just
doesn't
goes
it?
up.
Yeah, easy. Like, so like charge the battery, plug it in. Right, off we go. Like, this is easy. So obviously the first place to fly it is within my barbershop.
Yeah.
Great idea. Yeah, real clever idea that was. I flew it through the barbershop with everyone ducking. And it hit the front door, right? Fell to the ground and smashed everywhere.
And that
I was like, oh, that was that then. Never buying one of them again. All the clients like fearing for their lives. But
Me and Cameron had this tiny one. Like, it was a cheap one. Like, it was like 25 quid off Amazon. And it was great fun. It had like this little like barrier around it and like a little LED light. And it was just a crappy little one.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
We were flying around the studio, and one day I was like, what if we just take the propeller guard off of it? Because that's got lights, so it'd save battery. It'd be lighter.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe we can like, make a couple like adjustments to it. Like, it would be better. And so we started butchering this thing. and it just became like a Frankenstein fucking drone.
Oh my
And it was
God,
like
mate.
flying around, like chopping us up, like because the propeller guard wasn't on it, and it was like vibrating because the balance was off, and surprised the little thing didn't set on fire.
That's why they're on there, yeah. But no, like custom.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
custom,
totally
innit?
custom. I
Yeah.
wanted to spray an X and everything, but
Mate, that's what I was like with my Harleys. Like everything was fucking bodged.
mate, you know what? Like, I used to always think that you should always buy everything and like it's all nice and clean. But now I just love fucking like if I get like a tin, like I got a drinks bottle, right?
Yeah.
And it's all metal, and I love the fact that there's like dings and scrapes and everything. All it looks old. It looks like a bit fucked up.
It's fucking used.
I like it. Yeah. And as I get like older, I like things that just look kind of like just like a little bit more dusty and like vintage.
Yeah,
I guess
that's how I feel. I feel like your drink flask is a representation of me. That's exactly how I feel. Fucking old and battered. Yeah.
All right, dude. So before we sign off, let everyone know where they can find you, please, and tell us, give us a little summary of all your businesses as well. Give us a shout out on everything.
Okay. Right. So I suppose it's just. Oh wait. Wait a minute. There we go. How have you only just showed me this? It's probably a good idea. Big up. Oh, mate, that reminds me, right? I got to tell you this quickly. This reminds me of some friends of mine. They run an amazing sound system called Bridgewater Reggae Sound System. Jake and Dean. Like, I doubt they'll hear this, but like,
we'll make sure they do.
Big up. But anyway. You shouldn't have shown me that. I'm going to put that bottle in the way so I can't reach it.
That is for you now. You own that button.
It's the worst. Mate, with someone with ADHD, this is the fucking worst thing you could have done.
There's like 8 other buttons there as well.
I know. What do they do? Can I press any of them?
Go for it.
Right. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's the bit of me that. Oh.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I ain't got. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm feeling that
Should we just say
Just the
nothing
whole
for a
time?
minute? So.
It reminds me of that dude that he does reels and he pulls up to people's cars, and sometimes he'll like do like a flirty joke with them and like throw them off guard, or sometimes like, let's have an awkward minute of silence.
Fucking love it, mate. It's like, what? Green light. I ain't moving. I ain't moving, mate. Right, socials. So I'm everything's at. So Luka Chitty, CHRWTY is in Bang Bang. The amount of times I've said that on a phone call. Yeah, it's Luka. No, Chitty. No, not shitty. Chitty, as in Bang Bang. Yeah, that's it. The film. Yeah. Every time it's always to the bank or
It's the
something.
same with Express Media. And they're like, how do you spell that? XPRE1S. EXPRSS. And I'm like, I didn't think of this.
Yeah. Barbershops, just Luka's Barbers.
Yeah.
Very original. Luka Chitty Photography. Fucking original. What else have we got? Where else have we?
Got a salon as well.
Oh, yes. Salon 4T4. So letter 4, letter T. For someone dyslexic, this is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, you just give up.
Yeah.
Head over to Luka's page.
Yeah.
You'll find everything there.
All the links are there.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got the Exeter studio. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think
Last
that's
but
it.
not least.
I think that's it. There's a couple of others, but I think that.
Yeah, you're like all the business. I've got a few
They're
other
like-
businesses back there somewhere.
They're like, for another time.
Mate, honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you
Thanks,
so
mate.
much. And it's been awesome just meeting you, dude.
And you, mate.
Until next time.
Definitely. Bye, everyone.
Ciao. That was awesome,
Sick.
man.
That's so good.
That was wicked.
Really, that was great fun, man. Those buttons are great.